Kia ora tātou. In the headlines, our Kiwi troops in Afghanistan will be returning home a year earlier than planned. Those based in Mānia province will start leaving later this year and the provincial reconstruction team later in 2013. Foreign Affairs Minister Mānia Clarke made the announcement in Chicago, where he is attending a NATO summit hosted by President Obama. Mr McCulley spent the past few weeks working to get the international approval to bring our soldiers home.
So I've been involved, and so has the Minister of Defence, in extensive discussions with all of the partners, and it was the focus of my recent visit to Brussels as well. So it's been well signalled, well discussed and unanimously signed up to.
The early return of our soldiers comes as a result of the world leaders' endorsement at the NATO summit to hand Afghan forces the lead for security across their country by the middle of next year. Afghan President Hamid Karzai said his country doesn't want to be a burden on the international community any longer, but admits it needs help to accomplish this.
To make sure that we take steady and strong steps and are backed while we are making those steps towards 2024, where Afghanistan will be largely defending itself.
However, Prime Minister John Key says if things don't go to plan in Afghanistan, the SAS could go back.
If the situation got extremely serious, we would obviously look at it, but I'd be quite reluctant to send them back.
There were scenes of anguish today as the body of 45-year-old Sosaya Parsi was pulled from the Manukau harbour. Mr Parsi was found soon after divers re-entered the water this morning, only 10 metres from where his 7-year-old son Teo was found last night. Two of Mr Parsi's other sons and a nephew survived the tragedy when their dinghy capsized on Sunday. Police have released the name of missing pilot following a helicopter crash in North Canterbury. He is 35-year-old Michael Mertens, an employee of Way to Go Heli Services. And the New Zealand Department of Internal Affairs has busted a child pornography ring operating in over 20 countries. Working in conjunction with overseas law enforcement agencies, the New Zealand Censorship Compliance Unit was instrumental in bringing 55 offenders to justice. And in the lead up to the budget announcement on Thursday, the government has said $65 million will be spent on corrections and $143 on disability services. But political editor Barry Soper told New Zealand's Rima that he describes this year's budget as a matter of taking from Peter to pay Paul.
It's become something of a money go round over the past few years, so in effect it's Bill English's job to keep the horses on the carousel firmly there, because if they do fall off then the economy is in big trouble. The money that they will have extra spending, it's basically money taken from one department to pay another.
A British man could be facing life imprisonment for the murder of New Zealand teenager Emily Longley. After deliberating for 9 hours, a jury in the UK found Elliot Turner guilty of the murder today of the 17-year-old aspiring model at his Bournemouth home in May last year. And finally, as temperatures drop, we're being urged to budget for higher electricity bills. Over winter, a typical power bill increases by 75%. Federation of Budgeting Services Chief Executive Raywin Fox is advising people to think ahead and use practical steps to keep the power bill to a minimum.
You need to make sure your hot water thermostat's set to the right amount, and you need to have a think about short showers and maybe think about putting those extra jerseys on so you don't have to use too much heat, but we do encourage people not to go cold.
Kua pou te ki te kōrero, that's it from the Rima newsroom. Remember that you can catch our hourly headlines on Shine TV from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. from Monday to Friday. Mauri ora.